Hello, 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 and welcome to holiday time at Austin Dental Spa. It is December already, cannot believe it. So my smile is brightly shining. It's just our way of saying it is time for the holidays. And as some of you know, if you've been following our Facebook Live feeds, I had a little knee surgery 2 weeks ago. I just want to point out that the knee does bend a little bit. I'm on crutch now, graduated from the walker, and I can just say, let me put out a little shout out. Dr. Shelby Carter is the best orthopedic surgeon for hips and knees in Austin, Texas. St. David stole him away from Seton years ago, and he has his own wing on the top of the newest parking garage at St. David's, and he is phenomenal at what he does. When I saw the post-op photos or x-rays of my new knee yesterday, it looked like looking at x-rays here. They basically put 4 little caps or crowns over the 4 bones of my knee, and they're fitted precisely just like what we do here with our machines right onto my bone. He used a robotic device once they exposed the bones to precisely shave the right amount of bone off so that the implants from the Stryker company would fit right on and replace what had been worn away from 65 years of doing goofy things like snow skiing and long distance bicycle riding and playing a lot of tennis. So now, even though I can't bend it but about 90 degrees, it doesn't crunch and grind anymore when I do that. It actually feels like a nice smooth surface, so I think it's all going to work out well. So if you're thinking about it and you've been on the fence but you're living in pain, don't do that anymore. Do the advice I've been getting for 2 years. Just go ahead and do it and get to the other side. Wasn't that big of a deal in the total scheme of things, and I'm happy that I did it, and here I am 2 weeks later, back at work, hobbling a little bit with a cane, but I stopped taking the pain relievers after 1 week, and so just do it. Like, I think that's Nike that said that, but anyway, I'd say go for it because it's going to be worth it. If this is the worst it got was a week or 2 ago, it's just going to get better from here. So we got an interesting Wisdom Wednesday today. First, as I already acknowledged, it's the holidays. We had our Christmas holiday party last week at True Lux up in the Arboretum, which, by the way, it's too late for this year to book anything for pretty much any place in town for a holiday party. But for next year, they're already taking bookings. True Lux was awesome. They did a great job of taking care of us in one of their private party rooms. We had 30 people there for Austin Dental Spa, and had a great evening celebrating the season. Hope you are doing some of the same thing with your loved ones or your co-workers, and that you have a great holiday season, which brings up our health tip. What do you do that time of the year right now where you got all the sticky, gooey things that we even had towards the end of our party last week? They brought out a dessert tray. Best I could tell, by the time everybody left, it was only half gone because we're all dental office people. But still, we have to, take field trips every once in a while and find out what we're supposed to be telling people you shouldn't be eating, and remind ourselves of why. Their cheesecake was darn good, but if you're at a holiday party and they got all the sticky, gooey candy, we've talked about this a little bit in the past. It's not like you're going to go in the bathroom and brush your teeth. This is one of the few times that I recommend take some chewing gum with you, preferably sugarless gum, and on occasion throughout the night, especially after you've eaten something sticky, gooey, and sugary, pop a piece of chewing gum in there, chew it. It not only stimulates saliva, which is going to dilute the stuff, but the stickiness of the chewing gum is going to pull some of that stuff off of the surfaces of your teeth. They actually do have chewing gums now that supposedly decrease the bacterial accumulations or plaque, the biofilm that becomes plaque that creates problems for your teeth. So that's the quickest, easiest thing. Drink a lot of water. That's also another good tip. And they make those little disposable floss picks that you can buy at any grocery store that are about that big. They've got a little slingshot end on it that has a piece of dental floss about that long on it that you can get in between each tooth. Some people swear by them and that's all they use. I only use those when I don't have any better alternative. And they've got a little pointy end on the other side that you can use kind of like a toothpick, but it doesn't shred and shear like a toothpick, and it doesn't get soft on the tip. So that's another thing you can do kind of over in a corner or go in the bathroom if you feel like there's food stuck. So those are my holiday tips to try to counteract what we're going to be doing to ourselves over the next month. So as I know from my own activity level being a little lower than normal this last 2 weeks because of the knee, I partook of a lot of the Thanksgiving and now Christmas traditional cheer and cookies and brownies and fudge and all that stuff. So work a little harder, drink a lot more water, and you should be able to make it through the holidays without damaging your teeth. Now you're probably going to gain a little weight, but that's a whole another subject for another day. So our scientific topic today, I just saw this week come out through Dental Products Report, 5 emerging trends in dentistry to look out for. And I thought it was pretty cool because we're already on top of 3 of them here at Austin Dental Spa, but they are 5 emerging trends that I think you're just going to hear more and more about in dentistry. The first one is laser technology. It is just amazing to me. 10 years ago, I didn't even know what a laser was. Now we have 3 of them for 3 different purposes here in the office. One reads whether there's decay in a tooth or not without needing an x-ray. Another one trims or cuts soft and hard tissues. And the other one is a cold laser, a low-level laser that creates healing and reduces inflammation. We use all 3 of them on a regular basis. They all have their places in dentistry, and they're coming out with more powerful CO2 lasers that you can actually do surgeries with. So lasers are not going away anytime soon. They're just going to get more prevalent in dentistry. And eventually, for those of you who hate the sound of the drill, lasers in our lifetime are going to eventually replace the drill as the way that a dentist works on your tooth. So something to look forward to. Number 2 is emotional dentistry. I was a little confused when I first saw that. Like, what do they mean by that? But when I saw their definition is with virtual mock-ups and digital photos, patients can actually envision themselves with their final restorations. This not only boosts the trust of the patient, but also makes them emotionally committed to the outcome. For only 20 years, we've been doing mock-ups of people. Once Photoshop came out, that was like the first entry into this, of being able to show people with cosmetic dentistry what their teeth would look like if they were wider, if they were a little bit longer, if we closed spaces in, if we shaped them a little different. So that's what they're referring to by emotional dentistry, is getting an emotional connection with the patient to the outcome of the dentistry. Some dentists are just now starting to do it. It's become much more prevalent. You can buy the software and do it right here in your office now if you want. We still outsource ours to the people we've been working with forever because they do an excellent job. But it is kind of cool, especially from a cosmetic standpoint, to let somebody see how that dentistry could benefit them. Third, 3D printing. That is something that just in a year's time, it's exploded on the market. Dental labs are buying 3D printers like they're going out of style. There's going to come a time, probably before the next year is out, where we'll have a 3D printer here. Why would a dentist need a 3D printer? Well, we're not quite to a point where we can 3D print teeth yet. The technology is there, the materials are lagging behind because a 3D printer starts with nothing and creates something. So it starts in a liquid state, and then with the use of lasers and whatever else happens in a 3D printer, it builds something from that liquid matrix. It builds it into something that's a hard or solid object, and they can't get that material hard enough to go in a mouth and withstand chewing forces yet. But if you ever had orthodontic treatment, you know they stick the gooey stuff in your mouth and then pour plaster into it to get a duplicate of your mouth for the orthodontist to check his work throughout the orthodontic process. Orthodontists are not doing that anymore. They stick a scanner in your mouth that's much smaller and more comfortable than putting that gooey impression material in. They scan your mouth in a matter of 2-3 minutes. There's nothing that gags you. There's nothing running down the back of your throat. And then they send that image, that digital image, to the dental lab, and they 3D print it without a human being having to be involved other than to feed it into the machine. And 45 minutes, they've got an exact duplicate of your mouth right there in the dental lab. So it basically eliminates one job in the dental lab. Dental labs are buying 3D printers like they're going out of style. And it's just a matter of time. We can already print night guards, bleaching trays. They're working on being able to 3D print dentures for people who are missing teeth. Still a little short ways away, but that's going to happen before we're actually able to 3D print crowns and veneers and teeth. It's all coming. Out there a year or two, maybe 5 years at the most away. So 3D printers, pretty exciting. Blockchain is another one that I looked at and said, what the heck is blockchain? But that's just, by chain they meant they're taking multiple technologies and coupling them together. So in a chain, they work to help transfer information or transport knowledge from one place to another. They're actually, as referred to this article, and then I went and looked it up online, there's actually a Dentacoin that someone is trying to promote now that's like Bitcoin, but it's specifically for dental patients who want to use virtual currency to, like on a monthly basis, you pay your dentist by Dentacoin. It would be transferred out of your bank account, almost like an insurance premium, and in return, your dentist offers to cover this many services at no additional charge during the year. Probably it'll start with preventive services, just like dental insurance originally started, and then it will eventually become a standard way to pay for your dental treatment. I don't know about that one. I can't see it coming and totally taking over the marketplace, but the fact that somebody's thinking about that and trying to put it out there is pretty exciting to me. The last one, artificial intelligence or AI. Everybody in Austin has had their experiences with AI. My first experience with AI is when I bought something on Amazon.com 10 years ago, I think, and it said, people who bought that also bought, it happened to be a book that I ordered on Amazon, and it said, people who bought that also bought this and this and this. That's a basic artificial intelligence. It's predicting based on previous patterns of other people or you, and your buying habits. Those are getting fed into a computer somewhere and into that software, so they see what your buying patterns are, what TV shows you look at, and they're making predictions based on that. That's the artificial intelligence part of saying, well, if they bought that, they probably want to buy this too. So where that comes in handy in dentistry, I already, at least once a month, get a report from the state pharmacy board telling me certain patients of mine that are getting drugs prescribed to them by multiple doctors that they're picking up at multiple pharmacies. That used to be the way that people who were scamming the system and getting drugs that they were hoping that one doctor didn't talk to another, and they were getting multiple prescription sources for the opiate derivatives, and which is a big crackdown with the government right now. So these databases with artificial intelligence are able to communicate among CVS and Walgreens and the state pharmacy board, and then communicate to the healthcare providers, doctors and dentists and chiropractors and pharmacists, that, hey, this person's getting these things from multiple doctors and filling them at multiple locations. Alert, they might be scamming the system, and they're looking for these patterns that people use that they already know. So ultimately it helps things. It helps us as providers to not overprescribe something, to know if somebody's doing something that they're not being totally upfront and honest with us about, it increases the transparency. It's not just for that. They're also using it with x-rays. We're about to upgrade our x-ray units within the next year, or our x-ray software. We've been digital since 1994, but they've come out with a computer software that runs along with the imaging. So not only do you get the x-ray, but it shows you where it thinks there might be decay based on millions of images that it's examined pixel by pixel, and it looks for certain patterns and says, maybe you should take a look at that. So it's not doing the diagnosis for the doctor, it's just bringing your attention to areas that look like, based on the patterns that they've already input into that software, there might be a problem there. So it's all getting more exciting, and I look forward to being able to incorporate these technologies into what we do here at Austin Dental Spa to make it a better place for you to come and get your dentistry done. Hope you have great holidays. I'll see you again next week for another version of Wisdom Wednesday.